Welcome to Fun with Science and welcome to the second part of NTSC SAT 2021 Physics Questions Solution. So the seventh question here is, a force acting on a 20 kg mass changes its velocity from 6 meter per second to 3 meter per second. Then what is the work? So we know that the work done can be given as the change in kinetic energy, right? So we can write it as, or simply we can write it as change in the kinetic energy. All right. Now, what is the change in the kinetic energy? We can write work done is equal to half mv square final, where v is final velocity, minus half m u square, where u is the initial velocity. And combining these two formula, I can write half m v square minus u square. From the question, we can see that the mass is given as 20 kg, so we will write it as 20 times v square. V is final velocity is 3 meter per second, right? 3 meter per second, and 3 square is 9, minus u square, initial velocity is 6, so 6 square is 36. So that would be 2 ones are 2 tens are, so this is 10 times 9 minus 36, that is 27. Therefore work done is 10 times minus 27, or minus 270 joules, where joules is the SI unit of the work done. So among the given options, option C is going to be the right answer, which is minus 270 joules. Moving on to the next question. Question number 8 says, consider the following statements and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1 is, heating capacity of biogas is more than that of biomass. And statement 2 says, biogas produces lesser pollution as compared to biomass. Alright, coming to the solution part, first let us see what is biogas and what is biomass. So biogas is the gas which is produced from dead and decaying animals, plants, or any other materialistic waste. So it is a gas and it mainly involves methane, CH4, we can write methane, and some other gases, and plus CO2, carbon dioxide as well. So this is the biogas, and biomass is the one which is any material that is used to produce energy in the form of heat. Biomass is any mass which is burnt to produce heat or heat energy, we can write. So it would be wood, it can be wood, coal, or trees or plants, animals, even animals, etc. Anything, it can be taken as biomass. Now the heating capacity. All right, coming to heating capacity, what is this heating capacity? So you can write heating capacity or heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a material by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. That is nothing but heating capacity. So if you look at the heating capacity of biogas and of biomass, so we can easily heat the biomass, whereas biogas requires much amount of heat to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. Therefore, we can say the statement 1 is correct. Now coming to the statement 2, biogas produces lesser pollution as compared to the biomass. As we know that methane and carbon dioxide biogas is composed of. Therefore, when we burn the biogas, it produces less harmful effects, we can say, less harmful. So the biogas is less harmful than biomass, because biomass produces many toxic gases such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and other gases as well. Therefore, again we can say statement 2 is also right. So the correct option would be both 1 and 2 are true, that is option D is the correct answer. Moving to the next question, question number 9. So question number 9 says, the temperature of the water at the bottom of a waterfall is higher than that of the water at the top. So if you imagine a waterfall something like this, let us say there is a hill, and there are rocks at the bottom of the hill, something like this, and there is a waterfall and water is falling from the top and it is falling here. And according to the question, the temperature at the bottom of this waterfall is higher. So we can say T at B, and T at T. We can say temperature at top, temperature of bottom. Temperature at bottom is higher than temperature at top. Why? Because we can see here that clearly when the water is at this height, there is a certain height here h. So it has some potential energy, mgh, we can say. It has potential energy, Pe is equal to mgh. And when it starts falling, the potential energy is going to get converted into the kinetic energy. And finally, when it falls on the rocks here, the kinetic energy gets converted into what? the kinetic energy gets converted into the heat energy. Heat energy. That is why the water at the bottom of a waterfall is at a higher temperature than its top. So the correct option would be which one? The kinetic energy of the falling water is converted into heat. That is option B is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 10. So question number 10 says consider the following assertion and reasoning question. So assertion is when high voltage power is supplied through a domestic wiring, immediately the running television which is in on condition will be burnt out. Let us look at it. So suppose we have a television which is in the on condition. Now it is on. Alright. And it is connected to the domestic wiring without any fuse or without any switch like this. Let us say it is connected to the mains here. So in the case of a high voltage surge, let us say some lightning strike is there, okay, some lightning strike is there, and the voltage suddenly is going to rise. So what happens to the TV? Definitely, if the voltage rises, the current is going to rise, and the current is going to burn your TV, which is correct. The assertion part is true. We can say the assertion part is definitely true. What about the reasoning? The reasoning part says DP switch is fitted in domestic wiring to cut off the power supply automatically when high voltage is supplied. So now what is DP switch here? DP switch means dipole switch, okay? Dipole switch we can say. DP switch simply means dipole switch, and this dipole switch means basically it means it can control two circuits at the same time. So you can say circuit 1 and circuit 2, circuit 2. So DP switch function is that it can control two circuits at the same time. Suppose let us say the circuit 1 is fan and the circuit 2 is some light. So with just a single switch we can control both the fan and light, but it does not act as a voltage regulator. So we can say DP switch DP switch is not, I'll write it in caps, not a voltage regulator. Voltage, what's a regulator? It is a device which regulates the voltage. Whenever there is a surge in voltage, it turns off the switch or cuts off the power so that our device such as TV or anything is not harmed. While the assertion is true, the reasoning is wrong. So let us see the given options here. We can see that in the given options, assertion is true and reasoning is the wrong explanation to the assertion. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 11 says, a science teacher asked a student to measure potential difference across the ends of a dry cell. The device that needs to be used by the student is which device? Okay. Now, let us say we have a dry cell. A dry cell is something we use in our day-to-day batteries, TV remote or something like this. It looks something like this, and it might be of around 1.2 volts, 1.4 volts, or even bigger dry cells have 12 volts or 15 volts capacity. Now these dry cells contain a chemical in them, and the reaction of these chemicals gives rise to the current, right? And the current inside this dry cells is the type of DC current. Okay, we can say it is a DC current. Now this DC current is flowing in this dry cell. Therefore, if you want to measure the potential difference across the ends of this dry cell, let us say I want to measure what is the potential difference across the ends of this dry cell, then I have to use a DC voltmeter. Voltmeter. Why? Because there is a DC current that is flowing inside this dry cell. Therefore, the device that we have to use is a DC voltmeter, which is option D. Let's come to the next question. The next question says, among the following, the body possessing the highest momentum is which one? The momentum of a body, it is denoted by P, and it is given by mass into its velocity. Now let us see individual momentum of each of the bodies in the given options. In option A, mass is 8 kg and velocity is 6 meter per second. So 8 into 6 implies its momentum will be 48. Okay. And what about option B? Let us see, mass is 4 and velocity is 11. So it will be 4 into 11 is 44. Momentum will be 44. In option C, 10 times 4 is momentum will be 40. And in option D, mass is 45 kg and velocity is 1 meter per second. That is 45 into 1 will be momentum will be 40, 45. So among the following, the body possessing the highest momentum is 48, that is option A. That is the mass of the body is 8 kg and it moves with a velocity of 6 meter per second. Coming to the last question. The last question says the pole star appears to be stationary when observed from the earth. The reason is because, what is the reason? So we know pole star or north pole star as we know it, okay? So I'll draw earth like this, and we know that the earth rotates on its own axis. Let us say this is the axis of rotation of the earth, and we know that the earth is rotating on its own axis. Okay, this is known as a rotation of the earth, and there are two poles on the earth. We know that is north pole, one is the south pole. Okay, and whenever an object is rotating on its own axis, and if you keep or place any object on the axis, okay, any object on the axis of rotation, it appears to be stationary. I can write it, any object or point, I can write point on the axis of rotation is stationary or appears to be stationary. Suppose if I place any point somewhere here on the earth, when the earth is rotating, this point again with the earth, it is also going to rotate, or its position changes. But suppose if I place a point anywhere on the axis of rotation, the point or any object remains to be stationary. Therefore, the pole star what we observe in our night sky, it is located on the axis of rotation of our earth. We may be anywhere on the earth, but that is the pole star, I'll just write it, the pole star remains stationary or appears stationary to us wherever we be on the earth's surface. The pole star always appears to be stationary, and that is the reason why this pole star is used from historical times for navigation and other stuff. Option B is the correct answer. So this concludes the physics section of the NTSC SAT 2021 question paper. If you have any doubts regarding the questions or any other questions, please put them in the comment section and we'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to Fun with Science. Thank you.